Okay, welcome everybody. Getting started with just kind of where we're at. A quick little update on last week, just so everybody knows. Had good 3 days of work on Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I was pleased with the amount of work that we got, the amount of reps that we got. Working not only our starters to maintain timing and maintain their physical shape and football shape. Got a lot of the backups work, got a lot of the developmental guys a ton of work, allowed them to get away from it on Friday and Saturday and most of the day on Sunday. Some guys went home, some guys didn't. Really, I really saw a difference in it when they showed up on Sunday. What their attitude was. Not that their attitude was bad, but they were probably as energetic and had as good a practice as we have all year on Sunday night. So got started with Kansas. We talked about this, but was able to get out on the road recruiting Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Pleased with how that's going. Couldn't be happier with the job that our assistant coaches are doing with recruiting. It's been going well and continues to go well. So glad those guys were able to get out and be in high schools and be in some games. Saw some junior college games as well. So got the coaches back in. Started on Kansas Sunday. Kansas is a team that plays hard. It kind of starts with their defense, which is, I guess, why Clint Bowen is their interim head coach at this point in time. Known Clint for a long time, does a great job for him. When I was at Texas Tech for my 9 years at Texas Tech, he was at Kansas all those years as well. So we do have a history. I have respected the body of work that he's put out there defensively. He's worked under some great coaches, Bill Young being one of them that I worked with at Oklahoma State. So his knowledge of defensive football, his knowledge of Kansas, he's a Kansas kid that went to Kansas, that married a Kansas lady and knows about everything that you possibly can about that university. So, expect him to do a great job. Expect the players that not only defensively but offensively as well to respond to him. We are anticipating a Kansas team to come in here to be energetic and enthusiastic and excited to play this football game. In addition to that, I doubt they're going to be very scared of us based on what happened last year. So we got our work cut out for us, and that's the way we're going to approach this game. We're gonna continue to prep here for the next 4 days, and we better show up Saturday at 4 o'clock ready to go. That's our mentality. Offensively, John Reagan's their offensive coordinator. They brought him in from Rice. Was at Rice the last 5 years. Was at Rice when I was at Houston. Got a history with him as well. They were good at Rice on offense, mainly because of Coach Reagan. He was before Kansas Rice. He was at Kansas, so they brought him back. So he's got a lot of familiarity with what's going on there with the Jayhawks, and put his own spin on what they're doing offensively here for the time that he's been there. He will continue to call the plays. How much is it going to change from what we've seen the first 4 games? I doubt very much. It starts with their quarterback. They went with Cozart last year against us. The biggest thing that he does well is keeps the play alive. He'll do some run game stuff, but in the pass game, he does a great job of keeping things alive. Their strength, in my opinion, of what's going on with them offensively is their receivers. They got guys that can make plays. They haven't had as many opportunities as they would have liked. We got to do a great job of containing them. We better keep our eyes on them, because when the quarterback scrambles around, they have opportunities to make plays downfield. Defensively, same stuff as what they did last year. Basically the same guys. They play hard. They play with great technique. Their effort is off the charts. If you look back in all the games that they've been in for the last year and a half, their defense is the main reason why they've been in the majority of those games until late in the game. Their scheme poses challenges. They're good up front. They have 2 senior corners that are as good a corners that I've seen. We're going to be challenged on the outside, and we didn't do a great job of converting on man-to-man situations last year, I definitely think we're in a much different place at this point in time to be able to win in man-to-man coverage. Their deal is to stop the run. If they can't do it with the amount of people that are in the box, they're going to add more people until they get it done. Will pose a problem for us. We're going to have to run the ball against a good defensive front, and we're going to have to complete passes on the outside against corners that are great in coverage. Special teams, their biggest thing that stands out special teams wise is their punter can kick it a mile. I mean, he sometimes outkicks his coverage, but he's averaging over 45 yards a kick. Leads the Big 12, will flip the field pretty much every single time that he has the opportunity to do it. We probably got to be on the lookout for some tricks. They've tried some tricks in the kicking game, and that's something that we will make sure that we're sound on. But we know it's homecoming, which is always exciting. We will be extremely fired up to be able to play in this game because of that. But in addition to that, it's a gold rush game, so make sure that you wear your gold. I know our students have been great. They were great the last 2 games that we've played. They've already requested over 12,000 tickets, so I have no reason to believe that this wouldn't be a exciting game for all Mountaineer fans to be able to enjoy Saturday at 4 o'clock. So with that, we'll take some questions.
What was your reaction to the news about Charlie? It's pretty unusual for a coach to get fired at this point of the season, and do you think that'll have any effect on players?
Well, I mentioned that my respect for Clint Bowen, based on my past with him and my history with him, has been stated. He'll get these guys fired up to play. I would anticipate a much more energetic, enthusiastic bunch to come to Morgantown to expect to win. So my reaction to it, I don't know the inside information on why it happened or how it happened. I worry a little bit more about West Virginia and how we got to do to make sure that our guys are prepared to play and not if their guys are prepared to play.
Were you surprised though?
Well, yeah, it's game 4. It's game 4. So I'd never like to see that happen to any coach. It doesn't matter who it is.
Dana, coverage breakdowns that you had, how much did you work on that during the off week in terms of special teams? And do you make personnel changes? Did you look at some of that?
Looked at all that, and the guys that didn't do a great job on that one on the kickoff cover one are guys that have made a lot of tackles on kickoff game. So we didn't feel like it was necessary to make changes. If you look at every one of them, for the exception of 1 in 4 games, they've all been very solid. Our net kickoff right now is about, without the touchdown, is about 22 yards. So if we kick it in the end zone, it's 25. And our net's about 22, which means when we kick it and they return it, we've been pinning them inside the 20-yard line, for the exception of one that everybody wants to keep talking about. So we're not going to overreact to the one. We're going to challenge them. We're going to coach them hard, and we're going to cover hard, and we're going to make tackles.
I know you mentioned timing. Were you pleased with how that went over the bye week?
Yeah, it's good. It's all about work, and I was a little worried about it coming back after taking a couple of days off, so we had a more extensive practice on Sunday. Didn't go live at all or any of that, didn't want to do any of that, but we went and did some one-on-one stuff and some 7-on-7 stuff and felt like we had our best period of the year. So was happy, was excited, thought Clint was throwing the ball well, thought guys were running fast. Completed some stuff, so was glad where we were at on Sunday. Wouldn't anticipate it being any different here today.
You watched the Kansas game from last year, you said, and what did you learn from that? I mean, why did that happen, do you suspect?
Well, we weren't able to. I've already kind of alluded to it a little bit, but and this was a problem that existed throughout the course of the year. That the quarterback, I mean, if you remember, we switched quarterbacks again, and Paul went in there and didn't do a great job of being on the same page with the wideouts, didn't make any plays downfield. was running the ball effectively, was throwing some screen passes effectively, and then they loaded the box and played man coverage, and we couldn't do anything about it. That's what happened offensively. Defensively, we were pretty depleted. We were pretty hungover from the Texas game, and we didn't play very good.
It was more of a technical thing than an emotional thing, you think, though?
I think emotion had a lot to play with it, and it's my job to get our guys ready to play, and I didn't do a very good job of that last year.
Texas sacked Cozart 4 times last game. Has that been a problem for them throughout the year?
Yeah, and again, he does a good job of eluding some of that pressure and keeping the play alive. We haven't sacked the quarterback as much as I'd liked to sack the quarterback. So we worked hard on that over last week as far as getting guys in position to get to the quarterback. With Cozart, once you get there, the play's not over. So you got to do a great job of getting him on the ground. If he eludes pressure, we got to stay in coverage, and we got to keep our eye on him in case he scrambles.
Texas did.
Yes, yes, they did.
Dana, the understanding that Clint Bowen or whoever can't change things in a matter of 3 practices or whatever, the one thing that he might be able to do is change the direction that they're going with Cozart and play to his strength perhaps more. Can you see that possibility, and if so, what do you think his strengths are and where they might change them?
Well, my first question my first comment to what that would be is Clint's going to keep worrying about the defense, probably not the offense. I mean, right now defensively is what their strength is. They have good players on defense. Their scheme is good. If anything, they're probably going to turn the heat up on them defensively a little bit. They trusted John Reagan to come in to take over the offense, so I doubt he's. Those guys worked together at Kansas for 6 years, so I would imagine their relationship is pretty good. He was hired to come to Kansas to try to fix the offense, and I would imagine that he's going to continue to try to do that.
Yeah, it's something that Weiss said before he was dismissed was that he doesn't have the team that can go back and forth and play shootouts with. And that's not going to change either right now. When you have a team like that on the other side, is it a goal to get out on them in a hurry and take them out of their game plan quickly and basically just try to open up a big lead and take it from there?
Yeah, but defensively they're pretty good, so they've been in every game. They even going back to last year, I've watched every one of their games last year. I mean, they were in the majority of the games at halftime. Because of the nature of what they do defensively. I mean, they do a great job of stopping the run, which puts you in third down situations, and if you don't convert on man-to-man coverage, then you're going to punt. So it's going to be a back-and-forth game, but typically low scoring. So we just got to be patient with that, and, when you look at their game against, whoever the games were, last year and the games this year as well. I mean, it's the big plays is what's ended up getting them defensively. So we're going to have to be patient in the run game, and we're going to have to make some plays downfield. Whether they can do that offensively or not, I hope not. I mean, they're averaging 13 points a game, so we need to make sure that we do a great job of defending them and covering the receivers, stopping the run, and containing the quarterback.
What have you seen from their run game, and what are you looking out for, particularly after the success Oklahoma had against you guys?
Well, I don't know how you compare what Oklahoma is offensively with what Kansas is offensively. They're 2 different type teams. Kansas, they do a lot of different things in the run game when it comes to the quarterback. They're a zone team. OU's a zone team. They got 5 fifth-year seniors that are all 330 pounds that mauled us, that ended up wearing us out towards the end of the game. I mean, hopefully that doesn't happen again all year. So, we'll look on film with what they do, and we'll try to put our guys in position to be able to stop it.
Dan, you weren't particularly happy with the average carry from your running backs and the likes. Do you plan to make any changes there? Perhaps go to a feature back, or do something along that line?
A feature back?
Yeah,
What does
well, I
that
mean,
mean?
I don't know. I mean, instead of getting 5 guys carries in a game, get one guy and a backup carries and just
Well, you know, Shell has carried the ball more than
22.
most people has carried the ball. So I don't. It kills me when you said it, because I've heard that a lot of times before, Bob. As far as I don't know what a feature back is. I mean, we put guys in there that are playing well. We put guys in there that can get yards, and if they get tired or they get hurt, they come out. We put another guy in. So the one that's got the hot hand, the one that's playing the best is the guy that we're going to put in the game. Are we going to do anything schematically? No, we're just going to try to get better at what we're doing.
Speaking of, I'm guessing you looked at your situational stuff, and I know red zone was something you tried to focus on. You're getting there a lot, but not getting the results you want. Is it plays, players, approach, or anything that you've found so far?
First and foremost, I'm just glad we're getting there. Last year we couldn't get there, so we're getting there, which is step one. When you get into the red zone, score zone, things start to get condensed, which makes it harder to be able to move the ball. The run game needs to improve. Whether that's finishing blocks, whether that's something a little bit schematically, which is possible, whether it's backs making guys miss, whether it's being able to complete a pass route when guys are open and when they got a lot of people in the box. That probably ought to improve as well.
Has Worley status changed?
No.
Is there such a thing as a must-win game?
Every game is a must-win. We treat every game the same. I wish we'd have had some things to do over again in the first game and the fourth game. So every game's a game that we are going to work diligently at preparation to put ourselves at the end of the week of being able to enjoy a win.
Third downs for you offensively and defensively.
Better than last year.
Right. Yeah. Okay. Good.
Both sides of the ball better than last
Yeah, I
year.
was going to say that. Is it because you're succeeding more simply on first and second down, or you just have guys who know how to handle that situation?
I think it's probably both. I mean, the magic formula for being able to be successful on third down offensively and defensively, I don't know what that magic formula is. It's a combination of being comfortable with the play calls. It's a combination of being able to identify specific defenses, fronts, coverages, quarterback playing better, being able to snap the ball effectively, being able to finish blocks, run routes, and being in the correct spots and catching balls. I mean, there's a lot of variations that go into it that we're able to do in critical situations that we weren't able to do on normal downs last year.
I understand that most games come down to one team, the winner being able to impose its will on the other team more than vice versa. But is this game, the way it sets up, them wanting to play a low-scoring, tight game, and you guys wanting to go wide open and get ahead, that become more important to the idea of imposing a will rather than to get caught up in the other team's kind of game?
My interpretation of imposing your will on somebody is playing with energy and effort. So right now I've been very pleased with our team playing with energy and effort. It's going to be, with all due respect to Kansas, it's going to be a little bit more about us than it is going to be about them. We'll let them worry about their team, and we'll worry about our team. And it's like I've challenged our guys each and every week. If you play with, with the effort that you should, the effort that is expected, the energy level is high, which has been, in my opinion, high for all 4 games. You're the most excited team that played, and then put ourselves in position to be able to win.
Danny, are you healthy with the open week, or is there?
Yeah. The injury list looks a lot different now than it did last year when we played Kansas.
Thanks, Coach.
Thank you.